learners, welcome to the video. In the previous chapter, we have learned about discrimination, an act of making unjustified difference between human beings based on the groups, classes, or other categories to which they are perceived to belong is known as discrimination. Now, why do we have to strive for equality even today? Well, it guarantees the equality of all persons before the law, disallows discrimination in terms of race, religion, caste, sex, or place of birth as between citizens, and eliminates untouchability. We should understand that gender equality is not only a fundamental human right but a necessary foundation for a peaceful, prosperous, and sustainable world. Equality is so important as it protects the dignity of an individual. Learners, you may now be thinking that what dignity is. Well, dignity means self-respect and the respect that an individual deserves from others for humanity. Now, can you think that why we have to strive for equality even today? No worries, I'll tell you. In olden days, women and girls were not allowed to come out of their house. They were not allowed to get education as well. In those days, people were against the girl education and also against the equality of girls in the field. This inequality is in some minds of the people even today. Social equality is a state in which all people with a particular society or a group have the same status in almost all respects, including civil rights, freedom of speech, property rights, etc. Gender equality is not sufficient for widespread happiness, but it is necessary. This is shown by looking at statistics from all over the world. Well, we can say that equality is a value that we have to keep striving for and not something which will happen automatically. People's struggle and positive actions by the government are necessary to make equality a reality. The Constitution has placed responsibility on the government to take specific steps to realize the right to equality for poor and other marginal communities. The people must have the freedom to follow their religion, speak their language, celebrate their festivals, and express themselves freely. No single language, religion, or festival should become necessary for all to follow. The government must treat all religions equally. Finally, we can say that everyone has equal rights and opportunities. Thus, India became a secular country where people of different religions and faiths have the freedom to practice and follow their religion. In the previous chapter, we have learned about the stereotype, a simplified conception or image created in our mind for a particular person or group of people is known as a stereotype. Now, what discrimination is? Well, an act of making unjustified difference between human beings based on the groups, classes, or other categories to which they are perceived to belong. People may be differentiated based on race, gender, age, or sexual orientation, as well as other categories. Learners, you may now be thinking that what is the difference between stereotype and discrimination? Well, stereotype means a simplified conception or image created in our mind for a particular person or group of people, whereas discrimination means an act of making unjustified differences between human beings based on the groups, classes, or other categories to which they are perceived to belong. In this video, we are going to know about what discrimination is. The practice of treating particular people or group of people differently from others, especially in an unfair way, is known as discrimination. Can you list some of the types of discrimination in our society? Some of the most common types of discrimination include age discrimination, disability discrimination, sexual orientation, race, color, sex. Well, discrimination is regarded as unfair when it imposes burden or withholds the benefits of opportunities from any person or race, gender, sex, color, etc. Discrimination doesn't always have to take on a negative feeling. In life, there are ways to create distinguishing differences between nearly everything. Learners, can you now think that who are Dalits? Okay, don't worry, I'll tell you. Well, Dalit is a term that people belonging to so-called lower castes use to address themselves. They prefer this word to untouchable. According to Dalits, social prejudices and discrimination have broken them. Discrimination occurs when people act on their prejudices and stereotypes. If your act is to put others down, if you stop them from taking part in certain activities, if you stop others from living in certain neighborhoods, you are discriminating against them. A person may not intend to discriminate against another person, but it is still discrimination. Some examples of discrimination include harassment, wage discrimination, discrimination in hiring, discrimination in housing. Discrimination can take place because of several reasons. For example, they belong to different religions. This is an aspect of diversity. However, this diversity can also be a source of discrimination. Groups of people who may speak a certain language, follow a particular religion, live in specific regions, etc., may be discriminated against as their customs or practices may be seen as inferior. Caste discrimination is not only limited to stopping Dalits from involving in certain economic activities, but it also stops them from the respect and dignity given to others. Finally, we can say that discrimination is a lot in our society based on caste, race, sex, color, religion, etc. Thus, India became a secular country where people of different religions and faiths have the freedom to practice and follow their religion without any fear of discrimination. I'll take your leave till then. Bye. Stay happy.